everybody, it's part 2 of waitressing tips and tricks and relating them to life. We're going to jump back into some of the tips and tricks that I have and how to relate them to life. The next one I have written down is positive attitude and smiles. We have a mandatory meeting every month. In fact, that's where I was just a while ago. And we're always told to have a positive attitude, to come in, and our focus is really on the residents and making sure they have a good experience, and they leave happy, and their families, if their families come in, that their families are pleased and leave happy as well. And that all reflects on us as the workers, if we're happy about being there, if we're positive about being there, if we have a smile on our face. Now, I'm the first one to admit that I have gone to work and I've had things with friends or my family or my own personal struggles that I'm dealing with, and I haven't been as positive, or I've had kind of a negative attitude about certain things, or I was unhappy about certain things, and it kind of reflected in my work about how much harder it made it because I couldn't seem to focus as well. People were a little bit more, they could feel my energy, and it kind of made them negative and brought them down to a place they didn't want to be. And that's another thing, with your energy, with your attitude, how you feel inside, that radiates from your body, whether it's a good attitude or a bad attitude. You're happy, you're negative, you're trying to look at the positive side of life, or you're not. And people that I work with, the residents, they can feel that, and they're caring enough that quite a few of them will ask how you're doing, or what's going on in your life, or if you're okay. A lot of them know how to tell if I'm doing okay or not. And, you know, it's nice to know that they care about you, but some things are better just left alone. And so it's good to have a positive attitude. I know it's not always easy. I know it's not always hard. There's quite a few days where all I can think about is getting done with work so that I can get home and focus on other things. But it's always good to go to work with a positive attitude, to try and clear your mind of things that are going on with your family or with your friends or in your own mind and heart, and really just let them become your focus. And smile with them. And sometimes I go in having a really negative attitude, or I'm frustrated about some things, and they're so loving and caring that they just kind of welcome you, they embrace you into their arms, and they can change a day around for me pretty quickly. If I'm having things going on in my life, I tend to forget about them when I'm at work, just so that I can have a positive attitude for my residents and smile with them. I also give them quite a few hugs. They know I like to play with them we have little games that some of us do, or, I'll come and visit them, so they can help me have a positive attitude. And that's one thing in life. Life is not always going to be happy and cheerful and rainbows and butterflies and cupcakes. There's going to be hard things that go on, trials, there's going to be gray skies and things that want to make you cry, and sometimes it's hard to smile and want to see the positive, but there's always going to be someone who cares about you and believes in you and can give you a positive outlook on life. So I encourage you all to look for that person, or to be that person. The next one is breathe and take time for you. And these two are put together for a reason, but they're also separate for a reason. Breathe, I'm not meaning the kind of breathing where you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth type of thing. I'm talking about taking a second and clearing your mind, sometimes clearing your heart, sometimes clearing your conscience, and just taking a deep breath in and letting it out. And about 3 weeks into starting my job, like I said, I had no idea what I was doing when I started. I was pretty worried. I wanted to impress my bosses. I wanted to impress the residents. I wanted to impress my coworkers. I wanted to let people know that I was giving 110% every time I walked into that door. And one time I was out on my own. I had been there about 3 weeks, and I was kind of overwhelmed with everything I had to do, and I had to go back and get soups and drinks and salads and desserts and drop them all off at separate tables, and I didn't really remember what I was supposed to get, and I didn't want to go out there and forget and look stupid. And one of the guys there, he just said, "Katie, you need to calm down and take a second and just breathe and clear your mind and get focused again." And at the time I told him, I said, "Jacob, I don't have time. I am so busy out in my section that I don't even know what I'm doing." And I was helter-skelter and frantic and kind of all over the place. And up until, I don't know, when I finally reflected on his words about what he had said about breathing, clearing your mind, focusing, he wasn't meaning, you know, take a break, stop your work, the residents can wait. He was meaning take 30 seconds, breathe in, breathe out, focus, remember what you're supposed to do. It was almost like he was giving me a boost, saying, "I believe in you, I know you can do this, you need to get focused again." And along with that, taking time for you, obviously you get breaks at work. You get 15-minute breaks, at least sometimes at work. I do, depending on what shift I'm working. Most of the time, you get half-hour breaks, again, depending on what shift you're working. But sometimes you just need to say, "I need to take a minute and step outside and breathe and recuperate and refocus and get yourself back together." And that's why I have breathing and taking time for you. Sometimes in the hustle and bustle of waitressing back and forth, you forget to take time and remember that you're a human being as well, and that you're needed. And sometimes you need to take a focus off of what else is going on and say, "I'm important too, I need to take care of me." And I think in life, sometimes we forget that we're important. Sometimes we forget that we decide to take care of everyone else and forget about ourselves. Not that that's a bad thing, but we also need to take time for ourselves, make sure we're enjoying our life and breathing, staying focused on what we want and enjoying our life. The next one I wanted to talk about is set goals and meet them. When I first started, all I wanted to do was be a good waitress. I didn't have any goals. I just wanted to do my job and do it well. And then as I got better at my job, there were some days where I had some things I really wanted to work on, and I let my boss know about them, and I told him not to tell anyone else because I didn't want to feel the pressure of having to meet those goals quickly. I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell any of my siblings, I just told my boss. And the day I met that goal, especially one of them, I felt so accomplished, so happy. I went and told all of my coworkers. They were all ecstatic for me. I went and told the head chef because she was ecstatic for me. I went home and told my mom, and I kind of celebrated. Obviously, my boss knew. He was the first one to know I had met that goal. And ever since then, my goal has just been to become the best waitress possible. And I can say now that I'm a pretty good waitress. Not to brag or to be vain or boastful, but when I go to work, I know what my job is. I can do it well, efficiently, and I'm able to help other people. And that's one thing with setting goals and meeting them, is you feel accomplished inside, you feel happy, you know you can do it, you know you can make it. And that is one thing in life. If you can do that, set those goals and meet them, then you're going to feel accomplished and happy. And we will see you in part 3.